Hey guys, this is gonna be a different kind of. I'm on the road right now. I'm headed to. I have a new gig, uh, doing I guess like social media work, marketing work, kind of like a big step forward, right? Just something I've been wanting to do, and it has me nervous because I want to do good at something I love doing, and it's scary because I put myself in these situations where I just I don't know how I get there, right? I really don't, like looking back at my life and going from, like, literally, like when I really put it down on paper and I write it down, and I have wrote it down, and it blows my mind sometimes of how I'm able to still, like, be happy, right? So, like, going from FedEx to fighting to coaching to quitting coaching altogether and jumping into, I had no plan after I left strike. I had no plan whatsoever. I just said, you know what, this isn't for me at the moment. And I said, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna take a chance on myself. And who would have knew? Who'd have known? Who'd have known? Who'd have known? It would have been. It's been tough. It's almost been a year. It's been tough, but there's so many doors and avenues that have opened up to me to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And this whole social media gig that I'm doing, it is another door open. Like, I have so many things happening right now that it is overwhelming, but it's good. Like, it's good to feel busy and overwhelming. I'll never forget. I do another podcast. I produce another podcast called. It's about it's about recovery and addiction. It's Not So Anonymous with EJ Areka, and he was interviewing Chris Lieben, and Chris Lieben. He's an MMA fighter. He's fought all over the world. He's a legend of the sport, right? Super famous guy in his prime. Super famous guy in his prime. Um, and he was talking about how he's overwhelmed. It's a lot, and life is a lot. And when he was fighting and all that stuff, his phone was blowing up. But when he was in the middle of his addiction, so when he was in the middle of when he was in the middle of his addiction, there was his phone wasn't ringing. His phone wasn't like turning, like, wasn't getting any phone calls at all. And and then once he started getting recovered and going through rehab, and his phone started blowing up, and people want him, like, need him for stuff, or for coaching, whatever. He just says it's overwhelming, but it feels good, basically. And I'm not saying that I'm famous and I have all these people hit me up. It's not that. It's that I'm busy and I'm living life, and this feels good. And coming from trauma, like, I come from trauma. I come from a childhood. Like, when I think about it, I come from a childhood of violence. I come from a childhood of death, of seeing death. I come from, like a lot of trauma, right? And I'm realizing that because of that trauma, it's hard for me to be happy. It's hard for me to be in the moment and think that everything's going to be okay. Like, me and my wife are, like, we come from nothing, and we finally have, like, stability in our lives more than ever. And our daughter's about to go to college, and like we're everything, all our bills are getting paid. We're getting extra money. Like it's just like me and her talked about the other day. It sometimes it feels like, well, this is all going to come to an end, like so we got to keep on working. Like we don't want to get to that point anymore. We don't want to lose it all, right? And I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm stable. Like right now, I'm traveling in a Prius. When I'm traveling in a Prius, that's my commuter is a Prius right now. I want my commuter to be a fucking Porsche. That's what I want my commuter to be. But like, yeah, I want those extra things, but I'm stable. Like everything's fine. I have freedom. I really do. Like I really have freedom in my life right now. Like I wake up doing whatever the fuck I want and going after what I want. And if things are like today, like this morning, I've been going hard. I've been like grinding it out. And today I was just fucking drained. I was just tired and I said, "You know what? I'm not going to do shit this morning. I'm just going to relax." It's crazy. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to relax. And it was even hard for me to do that. And I fucking just relaxed. And, but I have freedom and I'm happy for that. I really am happy because that's all I've ever wanted, especially with the brain I have. The brain I have is it's so defiant. Like I want to rebel against everything, like I don't want to go the normal way with things. Even when I was in school, like I don't learn the same way everybody else learns, right? And and I need that freedom. If I don't have that freedom, then I'm very unhappy. And to be able to live life on my terms right now, and my own boss, and my own schedule, feels fucking good. I am nowhere where I want to be, but it feels good to be stable, right? And I've heard it before with the people I've talked to. Like, you're a very positive person, Jesse. I'm not like, I guess like from the podcast, and if you've been listening for a while, I I look at the bright side of things, yes. But I'm not like, it always feels like I'm doing bad. It always, no matter if I do, like when I was fighting, when I was that was what, 5 years ago now? Yeah, 5 years ago when I was 28, when I took the leap and just decided to go like all in on it. Dude, I was looking back, I was I for where I started and and how old I was, and I did something pretty fucking crazy, right? Like of how good I got in a small amount of time. And during the moment, I felt like I sucked. I fucking sucked. Like during the fighting, during the practice, like in the moment, like I felt like I was worthless. It was such, like I had no confidence. As a fighter, I had no confidence. Looking back at it, I should have had all the confidence in the world because I should have been proud of myself of what I was doing. Because, and it's like I should have said, "Hey Jesse, like you're doing fucking awesome." If I would have, as an athlete, if I would have had confidence, then I would have been that much better. But I didn't see what I was doing was incredible. That's why, like, when I was coaching, I would tell people that were fighting and that were committing to a fight or trying to get better at a martial art. I would tell them, what you're doing is amazing. What you're doing is incredible. Because not that many people are doing it. So it is already incredible. And it's like, because I didn't believe in myself, because I didn't have that in my head, I wanted to make sure other people knew, right? Because looking back, I'm fighting and I'm committing to the grind of training, right? I don't have anybody around me, and I'm traveling an hour to an hour and a half to go get training, to go get sparring partners. I'm sacrificing money, family, sacrificing everything, and I'm spending 6 hours at the gym, 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours a day training, running 3 miles a day. Like, that takes commitment. And you look back at that, and in the moment, I didn't think I was doing great. I didn't think I was doing anything amazing. I forgot why I brought this up, but I hope if you are doing something right now, if you're doing something and you're trying to go after your goals and your passion, just that step, if you're just thinking about it, you're doing something great. You're doing something amazing. And if you don't take the time out of your day to appreciate that, then it's not worth it. It's not, you're doing it wrong. I'm not saying to sit and dwell on it and talk about it and stop what you're doing. I'm just saying, give yourself a pat on the fucking back, because this shit is hard. Like, doing stuff on your own, it's fucking hard. Especially if you're a visionary or somebody that's stepping into something that their family's never done, stepping into something that people have told you that why would you do that? Like, that right there, even if failure or success, just doing that, it's fucking incredible. And you gotta give yourself a pat on the back. That's why now, sorry guys, if you're watching, the camera keeps on falling. If you're listening, I keep on stopping because I have to fix the camera. I'm going downhill right now. But yeah, like, that's why now I give myself credit, because what I'm doing, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking amazing. And I have to do that, because if I don't, I start dwelling on what success and failure is. I have to give myself a pat on the back. Because of all the trauma that I've been through, my mind starts to go to negativity. And it starts to say, like, why do you deserve this? Look at where you come from. Look at what, like, no knock on my dad, but a lot of it has to become because of a father figure. In that moment of my mom passing, like, the person that I would have to go to is kind of like breaking down, like putting me down on stuff. Like, I dealt with abuse. I dealt with physical and fuck. Sorry guys, my fucking camera. I dealt with physical and verbal abuse, and because of that, that's where my mind goes. Sorry. Again, the camera's falling, and I'm doing this in the car. So that's where my mind goes. So I have to now, as an adult, I'm regularly telling myself, you're doing a fucking good job. The positive thinking and the positive talking is there. When, as a 20-year-old, early in my 20s, I didn't. Even late in my 20s, I didn't talk positive to myself. And I'm starting to do that as I get older. Even through failure. Like, I love fucking failure now. I love failure. Does it feel good in the moment? No. But now I understand, if I'm failing, I'm fucking growing. Like, I'm fucking growing. People don't, like, you got to think of reps. If I'm going back to martial arts, or if I'm going back to, like, you got to think of reps. If you're putting in reps, you're constantly fixing it. You're constantly fixing it. Rep after rep after rep. The failures are so small when it comes to drilling stuff. It could be anything. It could be jujitsu. It could be business. It could be any, like, the little drilling part. The drilling, like when you're an artist, like you're constantly drilling and painting. Like you're focusing on drawing fingers, focusing on drawing hands, constantly doing it. But you're failing and failing and failing and learning. The failures are so small that you don't notice them. That you really don't notice them. And you're constantly fixing it. But sometimes in life, the failures are huge. Like the failures in life are a lot bigger and feel a lot more weighted. And like I look at failures just how I look at like I see them as drilling now. I don't see them as these huge things anymore. It fucking sucks. Like when I put my hope and all my eggs in one basket, and I have hope, and I'm like hoping for something to happen, and it doesn't, it fucking sucks. It feels like fucking shit. But now I understand that there's learning from it. And it's sort of like I'm living. I'm fucking living, and I'm getting through this shit, you know? And it's cool. And I think most people are afraid to do that. Most people are afraid to put themselves out there and fail. And like I've had multiple family members like, "What are you doing, Jesse? Like, what are you doing?" Like, it honestly, I'm just happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm happy trying to figure this all out. And this podcast thing, this photo booth thing, social media thing, and just enjoying my life. Like I'm tired of doing things I don't like to do. I want to do things I want to do and get paid for them. Like I want to go see the world. How am I going to go see the world if I don't even have a thought of going to see the world? You know what I mean? Like I want to fucking see the world. I don't know anybody in my immediate family. I don't know anybody in my family that's gone to a lot of countries. I want to go do that. I want to do that. I want to go see the world. I want to go get perspective. I want to see the lows of the world and the highs of the world. I want to see all of it. And it just comes from repetitive, going after it, repetitive, just drilling and drilling and drilling. What I mean by drilling is like constantly figuring out how to do it. How am I going to do this? How am I going to travel? How am I going to get this podcast going? Because I'm a one-man team. And I didn't know anything. Like looking back at how far I've come with the podcast and like constantly doing something with it every day, like watering my knowledge every fucking day. If I keep on doing that and look at how far I've come, where will I be? There's sometimes where I just like, fuck, I'm fucking fed up. I drop the computer. I drop my phone for about a week or 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm fucking done with this. But then I have a realization of to keep going, to wanting to keep going and wanting the podcast to work and wanting all my dreams and my passions to work. But there's one thing I have to keep in mind is that if it doesn't work out, am I still happy? If all else fails, if I'm just at the end of this, like when I die, I failed. Am I okay with that? I gotta tell myself yes, because I enjoy the process. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy trying to figure this out. I shouldn't compare myself to anybody. And that's very hard, is not to compare yourself to everybody. There's so many people to compare myself to. But I'm just one person. I'm me. I'm doing this by myself. I shouldn't compare myself to anybody else, and I should enjoy the process. I don't know if anybody else thinks like that, but that's just me. How long have we been talking? I think I'm going to go for 30 minutes today, guys. But yeah, I got 10 more minutes. Yeah, guys, I'm on 152 right now. And this whole thing has been a fucking journey. You know, I I want there's so many things I want to tell you guys that I don't want to put out there yet. Like meaning what I want to do, what are my dreams, and what are my goals. Like one of my goals is just to get my daughter to 4-year UC. She has one more year. She has the good enough grades, and she's doing it. And getting her there. Like that's like you know how like that's like my number one goal right now. Like if that would happen, and me and my wife had dinner. We went to the Dust Bowl yesterday in Turlock, but we were having dinner and we're like, and I told her how fucking crazy that would be, of where we come from, and someone coming out of our house, fucking going to a UC. I'd be fucking happy. Now, if she didn't go and she told me like, hey, I want to travel, I want to go do this, I would definitely support her on doing it. But if she gets into a UC, like that's fucking incredible. Like that's awesome. You know? Because like me going to high school, like I remember I was fucking dumb. I really was. Like it was like people like don't call yourself dumb. It was like no, I was. I yes, I was distracted by what was going on in my life, but I didn't figure out, well, like, if I don't like it, if I'm not having fun with it, then I don't care about it. And it fucking diminishes me. Or it makes me, I become so unmotivated in it that I'm hindering myself of not learning. And that's what happened in school. I just shut off. I shut off and didn't want to do all that stuff. And I see her go, no matter what time of day it is, no matter if she had other things going on and she needed to stay up late to do her homework or to study. Like watching her go is so inspirational. Just to see somebody we're not pushing her to be the best. We're not pushing her to excel in school. We're just wanting her to, I don't know, like, we want her to do her best, like, do her best. And she's doing really good, which is super cool. I don't know, I'm proud of her. But that's one of my goals, and another is to buy a second house by the time I'm 35. That's in 3 years or 2 years. Yeah, by the time I'm 35, buy a second house. Like that's the goal. Like I think me and my wife can. Like I want to rent out the house that we have now and fix it up and fix it up, rent it out, and then buy a smaller house somewhere else. We don't know if we're going to stay in California, but that'd be pretty cool. Like my parents worked their asses off really, really hard, right? And they worked their asses off, and I see that, and I want to be better than them. Because they worked their butts off. You know, I like growing up. I wish they would have owned something. I wish they would have like bought property or something. You know, I grew up knowing that my parents were renting from my grandma. Like, I don't know, as a young kid, it wasn't anything like somebody told me or somebody made fun of me. But as a young kid, I remembered, like, why do my parents, like I wanted them to own, like, I wanted us to have our own house. I think it's because they sent me to a better school. Like they didn't send me to the school next to me, which was in the east side, and they drove me and made me commute to another school on the, I guess technically I don't even know, it's the nicer side, but it's Evergreen. They sent me to an elementary schools over there and schools over there, and I had a lot of friends and I played sports with a lot of friends that had really good lives. Like I'd go spend the night over their house and they had really good lives, and then I would go back home and I'm like, why are we living with three families? Why are we living with extra people in our house that are not our families? Why am I sharing a room with my brother? Or why is my room in the living room? I remember like thinking all those things. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want better. I want better. And that's not positive. That's not me thinking positive. That's me determined. Like, I don't want to spend my 40s. I really want to, like, by the time I'm 40, I want to be doing only shit that I like to do. Like, I want to be so comfortable, and everything that I'm doing, I want to be doing shit that I want to be doing. Like, and I'm getting paid for it. And I'm able to help and fund everybody else's dreams and passions. That's what I want to do. Right? Like, right now I'm trying to sponsor fighters and I'm trying to build up to it, and any extra money I got, I'm gonna give to these fighters. Like, you guys have no idea of how much passion and love I have for martial arts. And to put it on the back burner that I really have. I've been trying to go to jiu-jitsu, MMA, martial arts every time I got time, but I put it on the back burner because what I'm doing, I know that I'm able to from a year from now, I'm going to be able to support my passion for martial arts. And that's something I have in my head, that there's so much I want to do with it. But I can't even talk about it because I'm not even close to it, right? I'm not even close to how I want to delve into the martial arts world. Because that's like my true passion. Like, I'm taking a break from it, but I do want to get back into it. Not fighting, but just into the world, because I love the stories in fighting. I love the actual process of fighting. I love the strategy of fighting. I love it all. Like, when I was coaching, I fucking loved it. Like, I would sit and I would watch video. Like, no one even fucking told me to do this. Like, I was coaching amateur fighters. I wasn't getting paid like a crazy amount, but I was coaching amateur fighters that weren't fighting at a high level, and I'm fucking trying to figure shit out 24/7. Right? And now that's part of my fucking problem, is that when I dive into something, I dive into it too much. And the balance between family, life, and the passion for the thing I'm diving into, it goes crazy, right? It goes fucking crazy. And I do want to get back to that. I do want to fucking get back to that. I don't know. I guess this is just the rant, guys, about what I've been up to. But I love you guys. Like, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a lot different from what I usually do. But go check out Faceless's interview, guys, and then check out the other ones after that. And make sure to subscribe. If you're listening, subscribe on audio podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow the Instagram, The Hassle of Hair. Put a review on anything that we're able to put a review on. Just do something to support the podcast if you made it all the way through. Like, share, all that stuff. Something, And yeah, I'm going to keep going. You guys, again, I tell you something. If my mom told me never lose your heart. So never lose your heart. I love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.